Greetings, Orthodox Lutheran Fellowship. It's me, your boy, Pastor Phil, coming to you with an OLF stream, alt stream, or whatever you call it. And I'm doing this again because, because I haven't done an OLF stream in like a week or something, so why not, right? Or maybe it was 2 weeks. I keep forgetting. Because I never plan these things out, and I don't really know where they go most of the time. But I was thinking that maybe we should talk about the Reform, since last time we talked about the Baptists. Although, we did kind of talk about the Reformed Baptists and the Baptists, if that makes sense. I'm not sure, really. But recently, I posted a meme about Calvinists and their doctrine about the... their doctrine about limited atonement. The idea that some people are predestined for damnation. And the funny thing about Calvinists that follow Orthodox Lutheran Fellowship is the fact that they really love to have their quote unquote arguments known every time someone posts a meme about them. Meanwhile, they post about a lot of ironically strawman-y content when they talk about other denominations, especially like Roman Catholicism. And it's really condescending when they talk about Lutheranism, because every time they talk about Lutheranism, they make it seem that a Luther or Lutherans believe in what they believe, even though that's really far from the truth. The reason why I'm very harsh when it comes to, or maybe a little bit too straightforward when I make memes or comics about the Reformed Baptists, especially, because they're really they shouldn't exist, is what I'm saying. Is I really want them to not associate themselves with Lutherans, because it's annoying when they do. And the only way that I see fit is for them to associate Lutheranism with mainstream Lutheran meme culture, because I'm not sure how much influence I actually have with the whole Lutheran meme community, and especially the edgy community of the Lutheran meme pages. But the thing is, I really hope that one day the Calvinists and the Presbyterians and the Reformed Baptists would see that it's not just the meme pages who thinks that they're, ridiculous, and that they're not in any way even close to what actual Lutherans believe. They like to pretend that we are somehow in the same, mindset. The fact that Lutherans believe in, for example, total depravity, or the fact that, we acknowledge at least two of the tulip or whatever thing that they hold to. Thing is, though, is Lutherans had never been... Every time Lutherans became friendly with the Reformed, things don't turn out well. The fact that Melanchthon made compromises when they made the altered Augsburg Confession, made pietism become a thing, and that didn't really end well for anyone. It led to a lot of really horrible things in the state churches, syncretism, and eventually the liberal Lutheran Church existed. And we all know how that went. And for me, I think it should be the mission of every, self-respecting Lutheran to make that distinction known. The fact is, people say that we shouldn't really be obsessed with high church, because people will associate us with Roman Catholics. But the thing is, though, the fact that you call yourself a Lutheran pretty much disqualifies you from being associated from Roman Catholicism, because everyone who knows Luther knows that, he was the one who sparked the Reformation. So even if you have all of those high churchy stuff, all of that high Mariology thing, the moment you say that you're Lutheran, no one's gonna think you're Roman Catholic. It's not. It's gonna be pretty obvious that you're not. What's not obvious is the fact that people think that we're somehow compatible with the Presbyterians. And that's why I believe that the focus when it comes to disassociation should be with the Presbyterians and the Reformed Baptists and all of the other Protestants, right? Or the Protestants in general. If we're gonna be technical, Lutherans aren't really Protestant. But yeah, that's my problem with the whole thing about why I always pick on the Reformed when it comes to making comics and making memes. And I don't know why I have to explain that here in an OLF stream where there's like zero Reformed people, or if there are, they're hiding in OLF. But this is gonna go on YouTube, so it's fine. I can say things, and in fact, I don't have a script, so I'm just making this up as I go. Also, I haven't greeted any of you yet. I usually do that. Hello Vincente, hello Brandon, hello Thayin, hello Vincent, hello Joseph, and hello Daniel. See, I don't even know how long people stay every time they're in the streams, because most of the time they just pass by and then leave once they get the gist of what I'm talking about. But that's fine. That is really fine. Although, I would really appreciate it if you guys would comment more so I can talk about more things as we go by. So, I'm just not talking to myself most of the time. Great. But yeah, let me read some of the comments. Vincent said, Holy Orthodoxy is the OTF. I don't know what that means. That's an OTF. Brandon said, Reformed. You limit God's power by denying predestination. Also Reformed. Limit Christ's blood to the elect. Yes. that is a good meme right there. Should make that into an actual meme. Joseph said, I can't say that I'm gonna put this on YouTube. But yeah, he said something. Yeah, and he also said, "Acknowledge my heart reacts, friend." I am acknowledging it, Joseph. Thank you for the heart reacts. This is really appreciated. Comment more. What? I need to comment. I need to comment because I need to. I don't have a script, and I'm just. Waiting for comments to talk about more things. You guys have to understand that, because I really should prepare for these things more. Daniel Cunningham said, but must sign declaration on justification. Presbys don't know how much we disagree with that and loathe it. Yes. And they want to pretend that the true Lutherans were the ones who acknowledged that that part of the confessions, but no true Lutheran only liberal Lutherans with the liberal garbage actually acknowledges that. So if they want to be associated with people with ideals that pertain to killing innocent children in the womb and marrying the same sex, then they're free to do that if they really want to. Yeah, they can associate themselves with those kind of Lutherans, which they're not really Lutheran. So yeah, whatever, they can associate with those people all they want. They can go crazy with that. But yeah, it's really funny that every time you actually criticize their doctrine, the first thing they say that it's a straw man. And you don't know how to actually give them a valid argument, because it doesn't matter how valid your argument is, it's always a straw man. And it's really hard to actually argue with someone when they refuse to acknowledge what they actually believe. And it's so easy for Reformed people, especially Reformed Baptists, to avoid questions or avoid answering questions is because they just nitpick confessions. And they always say, well, in the end, we just go back to the Bible. Not understanding that when they explain what each verse or proof text they present, will go back to some kind of confession that the Reformed actually propagates. But there's so many out there, so it's really confusing when they just nitpick. But yeah, let's look at more comments. Joseph said, Mom said, is that PewDiePie you're talking to? Do I sound like Felix? That's actually cool if I do. But Joseph said, talk about why Reformed Christology is gay. Oh gosh. Well, the one thing that makes it really inaccurate is the fact that they don't believe that Christ's body can be present everywhere. The fact that they think that Christ is just trapped there in heaven until he comes again, and that his body is trapped there in heaven while his, spiritual presence can be omnipresent is, a direct confession of their Nestorianism. They separate Christ's divine and human nature by saying that in communion it is us who have to go up to heaven to be in Christ's presence and receive his body and blood. You have to elevate yourself to heaven in order to receive his body and blood instead of Christ coming down through the sacrament, which you can never find that anywhere in the scriptures. The fact that the resurrected Christ could walk through walls, ascend into heaven, being in two places at once, or being omnipresent, he cannot be, the body is not limited anymore. He is God. So if you're gonna say that his human body limits him, that's one, not Nestorianism. Two, it's also Gnosticism. So, and they're gonna say, no, that's his straw man. Well, it's not. It's actually what it is. So, yeah, it's they're Nestorian and they're Gnostic all at the same time. Daniel Cunningham said, liberal Lutherans are pagans who believe salvation outside of Christ. So it makes sense why they sign papers with papists. Well, that's true. Especially now in the recent Elka gathering or whatever, their declarations really comes close to. I don't even know why they call themselves Lutheran at this point. Like, what's the point? Hello, Max Newman is here. Joseph Herder. I don't subscribe to that confession. I've subscribed to this one that says the exact same thing in a different way. Yeah. And they only subscribe to things that they personally agree with. And you can find another Calvinist that would disagree with them. But then when you call a Calvinist out, they're going to say, well, I don't actually believe that. I believe this. It's hard to pin them down, and it makes it so easy for them to get away with a lot of things. And that's why a lot of Calvinists are confused. Because Calvin, they really don't believe what Calvin held to. They call themselves Calvinists. Well, some of them call themselves Reformed. But a lot of the time, they don't believe what Calvin believes. Especially, pertaining to Calvin's Mariology. Calvin believed in Semper Virgo. Calvin had a high view of Mary. And Calvin even confessed Mary to be Mother of God. And, Calvinists would say, well, yeah, we do believe that Mary's the Mother of God. But if you're going to say that, then you're supposed to say that, Christ's body is everywhere the same way that his divine nature can be present everywhere. Because he's God. And you can't separate it. But they do. So, Calvinists can't say that they're not Nestorian if they don't believe in the same... if they don't believe in the sacraments the same way we do. And they're never going to say that they do. Some of them would say, yeah, we have a Lutheran view of the sacraments, but then you push them even more and then they don't. And if they do have a Lutheran view of the sacraments, why aren't they Lutheran? I don't get it. And if they do believe that Lutherans believe in the same things as Calvin does, then why aren't they Lutheran? Now, questions like that no Calvinist would answer, and they would answer you, but they would just say it's a straw man. And it gets really old, and it gets really annoying. And I've explored a lot of denominations prior to me going to Lutheranism, back when I was in college. I was interested in Calvinism for about a week, and then I gave it up because there's just no comfort in it. Like, you don't know if God loves you, because hearing the word and receiving the sacraments doesn't really do anything for you. You have to prove it for yourself and do good works to prove that you're elect, but then sometimes you'll stop, and then turns out you're not really. So you don't really know. No one knows in Calvinism. Even their preachers say these. Sproul, I think, had this one sermon about, like, well, if it turns out that I'm part of the damned, I'm gonna be a crier, not an angry one. I'm gonna be the one that despairs and all that stuff. No one is sure, and it's a sad life to be a Calvinist. It really is. But Joseph said something. You're not allowed to call something a straw man unless you explain where it erred and give a correction. Otherwise, you can just say, aha, because you supposedly misrepresented my position, I automatically win without allowing your actual position to be criticized. Yeah, it's true. It's really hard to argue with them. And I think that it's just this is like a script that every Calvinist just knows how to like, and that's why a lot of Roman Catholics just doesn't take them seriously. They think that Roman Catholics actually are afraid of them and don't want to debate with them because they're so smart and they have everything together. No, the reason why a lot of Roman Catholics don't want to argue with Calvinists is because you don't go anywhere with them. And that's the same with Lutherans. We don't argue with them because you can't go anywhere with them. You can't convince them when it comes to, like, church history. You can't convince them that they're Nestorian or they're Gnostics. Even though you have everything laid out there, they're gonna say, well, that's just wrong, and that's just wrong, that's just wrong. Yeah. Nothing. You can't go anywhere with them. So a lot of people just give up when they talk to the Reformed. Because there is no conversation. It's like you're talking to a wall. But yeah. No, Benjamin. Just listen to the rest of the podcast after this. But yeah, I think I have that's Benjamin, shut up. I think I said my piece, and I think that covers the live stream for today. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. I'm not gonna make it that long because I have really slow internet, and it's gonna be really annoying for me to upload a really long stream. But again, thank you for listening, everyone. This is me, your main admin, Pastor Phil, signing out. Bye.